The Director General of the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, Idris Musa. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Newsnight. Here we are again. Our correspondent of Veteme George there said, one too many. The real concern for me is when this accidents happen, is the capacity there to quickly respond so that you minimize the damage? And what exactly are the measures that are expected on such vessels to even prevent this from happening in the first place?
Well, thank you very much for bringing me here again. I was here a few months back to talk about the ITO incident, and today we have another one in our hands. That is Shebah Exploration and Production Company. Again, even though it is not producing now, but the situation is such that for any activity at all, that's what we call the need to put in contingency plan. And the essence of having contingency plan is to have rapid response to any such incidents whenever they occur. Contingency in terms of a spill, anticipated spill, contingency in terms of fire, if there should be fire outbreak within a facility. But of course, the contingency is just a sub for sort of anticipating and putting in place certain
measures.
But
for a facility like this, very quickly,
a facility like this, for instance,
22,000 capacity, yes. 2 million barrel storage.
Exactly.
It has
capacity to store 2 million barrels. But as at the time of the incident, it wasn't storing such quantity. I told you it's not a facility in production. And I've had a lot of interactions since early hours today and later last night with the establishment, the company. And I had to speak to the MD directly because you get the best from the head. I also had interactions with the general manager, head safety and environment, to know what exactly has happened. And what has happened is that the incident came to them as a surprise. If it was a going concern as such, there would have been more measures put in place. Nonetheless, to ensure that we do not have minimum losses, we had to get in touch with all the oil companies operating in that area. And of course, you had your correspondent mention Chevron. Not only Chevron, we also got in touch with SPDC as well as Elcrest, MPDC. Elcrest works with MPDC. Of course, MPDC is fully government owned. And the essence of that is to lend support to minimize this. So now you have heard that the fire is down. We had actually mobilized to do the joint investigation visit tomorrow, but hopefully it will be done on Saturday.
Okay,
because we gather everybody.
Thing
that is one. And two, tomorrow we are going to do an area surveillance of the place.
Okay.
And of course, I just confirmed we may be having your team to be part of us to see what is there.
All right, good. Idris, you talked about contingency plans.
Yes.
Is one thing for people to do what is expected of them. Is another thing altogether for that to be a deterrent when they don't do it. He talked about one too many occurring. So it looks like the companies are not particularly particular about whether it's the contingency plan or being proactive to prevent such from happening, and then when it happens, to do the needful. So are there such, if you like, laws, yes, to get them to do the things that they are supposed to do so these things can stop occurring?
There are punitive measures. If you ask for punitive measures, But then, do you punish who has not who has not been non-compliant? You cannot. You cannot. And when we say contingency plan, it's making the provisions for any exigencies that may occur. And oil companies ordinarily put in place their contingency measures. But that does not mean that there will not be something that goes beyond what they can hold. Yeah. We anticipate that, and that is why even in oil spill management, we have classifications. Category 1, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. And within what they can manage themselves, they will do with what contingency plan they have in place. This is beyond what they could have handled by themselves, and that is the reason why we call for help.
So does the response agency get there immediately this happens, your agency?
Yes, of course.
What do they do? What do you do immediately?
What you do is to harmonize resources that are around to combat it.
Okay.
You see, you give technical guidance as to how to go about it. So you have different set of people.
And you did that in this case?
Of course, yes. Why am I here?
Okay, so now you say you're going to be investigating this. In investigating, what exactly are the questions you ask? What do you look out for? And the issue of capacity to respond to such accidents. What are the fundamental questions you ask?
Fundamental questions to ask. First of all, when you do joint investigation visit to any incident area in the oil industry, you want to know and establish what is the cause. You want to know what is the extent of impact and what will be further impact, if it should be. And then you know those ones and then begin to act on how to put them in place. When you know the cause, for instance, you now know what next. Just like when you have an accident, air crashes, you see accident investigation bureau goes in. Not that they will stop accident from happening, but you take lesson from what has happened. What caused one incident may not necessarily cause the other. And that's exactly what that is all about. And apart from that, you know the extent of spill. For this particular one, and in case there should be a remnant of oil that will spill, that's why we have put CNA on standby. Okay. To protect the sensitive and vulnerable ecosystem in the area. And don't forget, you see, one thing happens after the other. In this fire incident, just similar to the one at Funiwa, which Timmy George mentioned earlier on, here we have more fire, more smoke than oil spill.
What category would you place this?
This is certainly in category B, category 2.
All right.
And that is why we have mobilized the team.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll leave it there. Director General, National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, Idris Musa. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
very
being.
much.